This is a laptop in from a viewer, and I believe they're at a repair shop based in Canada somewhere here. So far, all I've done is open the laptop. I checked the power supply and it is outputting 20 volts, which is good. I plugged it in and we are getting 20 volts on the charger, and the rest of the input circuit was covered up by the heatsink. So we took the heatsink off, and I noticed, I'll show you a picture here, all of this liquid metal on the CPU was replaced with thermal paste. There was thermal paste on every single one of these VRAM chips and on these inductors here. And as some of you probably know, you're supposed to have either thermal pads or thermal putty on these. And we have access to our input circuit here, which we can proceed with diagnosing. I'm going to plug in the charger here. So we have that plugged in. And we're going to measure DC volts right on the positive rail here. So we're getting 20 volts. So we do have 20 volts at least coming to this part of the circuit. 20 volts. What do we have on this side? All right, so we're getting nothing on this side. Are we getting anything on the gate? And no, we are getting nothing on the gate. I know this is the gate because it's the only standalone pin on the MOSFET here. But yeah, it appears as though something is not working correctly to tell these MOSFETs to turn on, to allow power into the device. So power is just simply not coming into the laptop, and this does not necessarily mean that this MOSFET is faulty. It's just that the gate is not receiving the voltage it needs to receive to turn the input circuit on here. So I'm going to unplug this, and we're going to try to find some schematics because I want to know where that gate exactly is coming from on the board and see what should be generating that voltage in order to allow the laptop to turn on. So at this point, with the laptop unplugged, we can measure the resistance on this side of things because there may be a short over here. So here you can see we're reading 84 kilo ohms. That's fine. What about here? 8 mega ohms. Sure. What about here? Just nothing. There we go, 47 mega ohms. I think it's because my speed was on high. So okay, that's more of what I expected to see. We should definitely be seeing some resistance reading there. Oh, beautiful. I have found the schematic. Wonderful. Here we go. We have a little block diagram, more block diagrams for power. So we've got the 20 volt adapter going to the BQ chip, which is probably what we're going to have to look for schematic wise. And then that goes through to charge the battery. These are all the chips that are generating different voltage rails. So this is very helpful. We can always go through and test all these voltage rails if we ever need to. But we're actually not even past this 20 volt adapter phase. We're stuck somewhere here. So the power is not even getting to the rest of the board. What do we have here? So this is the adapter. And we can see all the little coils that we were seeing on the board. There was 5 there and 2 missing, just like it says on the schematic. These green things are the missing components. They're just like footprints on the board. And we have some capacitors here. Okay, so here's the charger circuit. We know that we have from the adapter 20 volts here. And this Q60010 or 60010, we'll call it, is going to be this guy here. You can see if I zoom in, we have the Q60010, that's this MOSFET here, and then we have 60011, which is this secondary input MOSFET here. So we have this and this. So that's what we're looking at. Now we know that the power is coming in to here, and this is going to go through a resistor and probably go over to the BQ chip here. So we have this coming through. The red dot here is where it actually connects to something. AC detect, this is what this line is called here. We can look for this in other places to see where else this is going. But we know at least this is going to over here where it says AC detect on this, presumably the BQ chip. So if we go look for U60,000 on the board, I'm just going to hunt around for something that looks like a BQ chip because this could be literally anywhere on the board. All right, I found it. It's right here. This is the BQ chip right here. So you can see there's our culprit, and we have U6000 on the bottom right of some of these resistors here connected to it. So pin 1 is going to be the little dot right there, and then it's going to go counterclockwise. So first of all, I already see some like little shit on the board here. Let's get that out of the way because that's near the pins we're going to be testing. So let's check to see if the power is actually getting to the BQ chip at all on pin 6, AC detect. Pin 6 is going to be, again, counterclockwise from pin 1. So we're going to count. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to be right here on this capacitor. Power is plugged in. Find a good ground spot here. Would be helpful to go into DC volts. All right, and let me very, very carefully check the voltage right here. All right, and we are getting 2.6 volts right there. So we at least do have a voltage on AC detect. Oh, this is interesting. I just noticed something. So if we come over here and we check the voltage on the input MOSFET, we got randomly are getting spikes of about 1 volt. See that? 1 volt, 1 volt. All right, so it's the next day, and I'm going to spare you guys the 2 hours of me diving into the input circuit and charging circuit on this thing. And instead, we'll get right to what I discovered. So this is one of those scenarios where, I've sort of started to overcomplicate things and just dive into the charging circuit instead of looking at what's right in front of me. Due to the nature of this issue, I cannot blame myself for doing so. And I'll show you guys what I mean in just a moment here. So let me just paint a picture here for you guys as to what I was seeing. Let's check the voltage on the charger again. So we do have 20 volts on the charger. You can see that right there. And this is an official ASUS charger. And when we plug this in with the multimeter, if I read the voltage on the input here, we have 20 volts, right? So we have 20 volts coming in to the first input MOSFET here. Now, if I read the voltage after the first input MOSFET, we are seeing basically nothing on the multimeter. We see maybe 60 millivolts, sometimes 120 millivolts, 140 millivolts there, but that's it. It's kind of just like fluctuating between nothing and 140 millivolts on the multimeter. Now, this fluctuation made me think, well, I have this nice oscilloscope now, so let's take a look visually as to what's going on the gate of that MOSFET, which is what tells it to switch on. So that's this one lone pin right here. That's the gate. And then let's see what happens on this side of the input MOSFET with the oscilloscope. So we're going to do just that. I'm going to plug the charger in again. I'm going to grab my oscilloscope lead here. We're going to go to the oscilloscope, and I've got this set to ×10. It's also set to ×10 on the scope. And I'll connect ground here. And let's just see on the other side of the input MOSFET what we're seeing. So check this out. This is what we're seeing on the other side of the first input MOSFET. It is just spiking to 6 volts repeatedly. Even though we don't see this on the multimeter, we actually don't even see a volt on the multimeter. We see 120 millivolts. We can kind of zoom in even more and spread this out a little bit more and look at what's going on. So this is sort of like spiking up to about, 2 volts, and then at times spiking all the way up to 6 volts. And this is happening like over and over and over again. I'm going to probe this one more time. So you can see this is just repeatedly happening. So what's happening here is essentially the BQ chip or the charger chip, which is controlling these input MOSFETs. Let's go look at the schematic for a second. So here's our 20 volts. It's coming in. And this is the MOSFET we're looking at right here. On the other side of this MOSFET, we're seeing spikes of about 6 volts every 1 second on this side of the MOSFET. And just as a quick recap, if you haven't seen my other video going over this input circuit, I'll make a separate video at some point really breaking down this input circuit, which you'll see on almost all laptops. But here we have 2 input MOSFETs, and these start conducting electricity between drain and source when the gate voltage here, this one little pin on the 2 MOSFETs, has a voltage on it that exceeds a threshold relative to this source voltage. So all you need to think about is when you apply enough voltage to this gate, the MOSFETs are going to start conducting. And essentially, this is the BQ chip's job or the charger chip's job. So you can see both of these gates of these input MOSFETs are connected, and they go down here to align on this BQ chip. This is the charger chip. We also have one of these on the switch console, and lots of other devices have a charger chip similar to this. You can see these 2 gates go over to a line called AC drive. So this is going to pin 4 right here on AC drive. So it is the BQ chip's job to tell these MOSFETs when to turn on to allow power into the rest of the laptop, to charge the battery, to power the rest of the laptop, etc. And if power does not get past these input MOSFETs for whatever reason, whether the BQ chip is faulty, whether the input MOSFETs are faulty, there is not going to be power over here and the laptop will not turn on. So an issue over here is one of the most common things on laptops when there's no power. Is either you have shorted input MOSFETs or you have an issue with the BQ chip. But the strange thing is we're seeing a normal voltage here, right? But then over here, we're seeing a spike of about 6 volts every like 1 second, right? So let's take a look at what's going on this gate pin here, because that can also give us a little bit of information. We can see what the BQ chip is telling these input MOSFETs to do, and we know it's telling them to do the same thing because the gates are connected. So let's switch to the oscilloscope again. I'm gonna click run, and let's probe the gate carefully here. So check this out. This is sort of in line with what we're seeing on the other side of the input MOSFET. We're seeing a spike of about 8.6 volts, which makes sense, right? Because in order for the input MOSFET to conduct 6 volts through it, it needs to have a higher voltage on the gate relative to the source in order to trigger the MOSFET to turn on. So you can see the same exact pattern here, just a little bit higher with all those spikes. And now let's probe the output here of the secondary MOSFET, and you can see a very similar story to the first one, which kind of makes sense, right? Because we have the same instructions going to both of these input MOSFETs. Given the power on this side is a little bit cleaner, why on earth is the charger chip or the BQ chip telling these input MOSFETs to turn on partially every like 1 second or so and then shut off? And this is where it helps to have a little bit of context for what the BQ chip is supposed to be doing in an input circuit like this or in a charging circuit like this. One of the primary jobs of the BQ chip is to detect on this AC detect line here whether or not the charger is good and plugged in and has the appropriate voltage. And then it also checks here, you can see there's 2 lines here and here, pin 1 and 2, going over to the shunt resistor, which is measuring effectively the voltage drop across. It's a very low resistance resistor. You can see it's about 0.005 ohms. And the BQ chip knows the value of this resistor and can calculate how much current is going into the laptop. And if there's too much current getting pulled into the laptop for its liking, it can trigger sort of a protection mode and turn off these input MOSFETs. So my first instinct is obviously to check resistance on the other end of this MOSFET here to make sure we don't have like a weird low resistance. But we're getting over like 30 mega ohms. I was seeing 45 mega ohms earlier on this, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's not shorted. There may be something down the line that's pulling more current that's shorted, but I measured all over the board, couldn't find any shorts. There's no heat spots as far as I could tell on the board. So I was just losing my mind trying to figure out why this BQ chip was telling the laptop to turn off these input MOSFETs, because there's 20 volts coming in. I checked on AC detect on the BQ chip itself. If I measure right here, we are getting 2.66 volts, which is in the correct range on this BQ chip in order to turn this on. We also have AC OK present. So when I measure with my multimeter on the charger and on the BQ chip, everything checks out, and there should be no reason for the BQ chip, as far as I can tell, to be turning off the input MOSFETs to not allow power into the laptop. So yesterday I just spent like 1 to 2 hours basically tearing apart this charging circuit and trying to figure out how it detects if it's the correct charger. I checked this little diode over here for AC short protection, and everything is checking out. So I'm like extremely confused as to what's going on. And finally, I decide, just for fun, to check with the oscilloscope what is happening on this charger. And this is honestly just wild to me that I just got this oscilloscope, because I can already tell how useful this thing is going to be. This tool is incredible. I should have gotten one of these a long time ago. But check this out. I want to put ground on ground. Look at this. Look how dirty this signal is. This might not be entirely apparent to you guys yet, but let me zoom in on this. Check this out. This is the signal we're getting from the charger. So as you guys saw with the multimeter, if we check this, we get a solid 20 volts right there. You can see 20 volts. Multimeter is telling us that we have 20 volts on the charger, okay? Take a look at what's actually happening on the charger. We have a sort of somewhat stable 20 volts, and then randomly, we're getting spikes up to like 23 volts, over 23 volts. And actually, earlier on, we're getting even higher spikes. I didn't notice this until just now. You can see this is going up to 24 volts. So just take a look at how insane the signal is. Now, I also have an ASUS charger lying around that I did not think to use until I used the oscilloscope with the other one. And look at the signal that this one puts out. Look at that. Look how clean that 20 volts is compared to the one we just looked at. So no wonder this BQ chip is shutting off the input MOSFETs. It's because of the spikes upwards of like 24 volts, probably higher at times, compared to this really clean 20 volts. And let's check this one with the multimeter. Also 20 volts, right? No difference as far as the multimeter sees. The multimeter is none the wiser to any of the issues going on with the other one. They both read exactly the same. It did not even cross my mind to use another charger after checking that other one. And now guess what happens when I plug this clean charger into the laptop? Let's see. We have 20 volts coming in to the charger like before, but let's check after the first input MOSFET. 20 volts. Look at that. No issues. And then what about after both input MOSFETs, again, 20 volts, no issues. The laptop is very likely accepting this charger and has no issues with it. And my guess is that the laptop is completely fine and it was just the charging adapter the entire time. So what did we learn from this? Don't trust your multimeter, I suppose. I'm probably always going to check the signal now on these power adapters before I even open the laptop. And same goes for checking the gates on these input MOSFETs. The oscilloscope tells a very different story than the multimeter. We see a little bit of a fluctuation, but maybe not enough to notice when you're just probing around. Whereas it's very clear as to what's going on with the oscilloscope, that the BQ chip is attempting to turn the power on, but then shutting things off and retrying every second or so in an attempt to protect the laptop from too much voltage on the charger. So I do not blame the technician that sent this one in, because this gave me the runaround for sure. And I thought for sure there was something wrong with the input circuit, or maybe the BQ chip was faulty. I'm actually really glad I had him send in the power brick that was with the laptop, because this would have been really confusing. One of the reasons I always ask for people's chargers with these modern laptops, I don't always have the correct adapter with the ID pin and stuff for the correct manufacturer. So yeah, let me get this back in the computer and let's see how this behaves with my charger. Okay, so I got this thing partially reassembled. We're gonna plug it in with the good charger first and see on the battery terminal if we get any kind of voltage. And then we'll plug the battery in as well and make sure that the battery is in fact charging. So here we go. We've got 17 volts on the charger. That is perfect. So let me unplug this. Let's get the battery plugged in. And I'm sure we are going to get a charging light with this thing plugged in. And sure enough, charging light. See that? Beautiful. We could check the voltage on the battery, make sure it's climbing. So we're at 15 volts. And there you go. It's climbing. You can see over time. It's going up, 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 up. All right, so great stuff. Let me go ahead and clean the rest of this old thermal putty off, since I'm gonna have to replace a lot of it anyways. We might as well replace the rest of this stuff. And I will put fresh thermal paste on the GPU, fresh liquid metal on the CPU, and fresh putty around the rest of this stuff. So I will be back when the laptop is fully reassembled. All right, so I've got the laptop fully reassembled here, minus the back cover. I'm gonna plug the good charger in. And again, we do have the charging light. You can see there. Now we're going to press the power button, and we got a light on the power button here. The RGB keyboard is lighting up. You can kind of see it in the reflection there. Giving it a moment. There we go. Laptop is working completely fine. So it really was just the charger. But I am glad I took it apart, because this thing is going to run significantly better with that liquid metal especially. But yeah, this thing is good to go. I'm gonna get this thing shut off and I will fully reassemble this thing and get it back to the customer. So definitely sort of an interesting one today. Not a board repair, but a learning experience with the oscilloscope. I hope it was at least interesting learning a little bit about the BQ chip and how it can kind of cut voltage from the charger when it detects an issue. So yeah, hope you guys learned something. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.